Before I get started with the crafting content, I just wanted to address some of the discussions that have been going on in our community and the world at large, let's be honest. And I'm not good at speaking off the cuff on this topic, so I did write a few notes down. I hope you don't mind that I'm just going to read them. That's my cat pushing open the door. So without any more introduction, I am an ally. I am listening. I am examining and trying to check my own privilege and bias. I am learning, and I will make mistakes because I'm a human, but all are welcome here. This is a safe space, but if anyone ever feels that it is not, or that I have said something that needs to be checked, I hope you feel free to reach out to me so that we can have a discussion. Not so you can do my emotional heavy lifting for me, but so that I can continue my journey in a thoughtful and honest way. So thank you. Hi, welcome to Love Letters to Crafting. I'm Heidi, your host, and I am coming to you from the frigid Midwest, gateway to the West, St. Louis, Missouri. Today is warmer than yesterday, but not much. It is going to be in the 20s today with wind chills below zero, and yesterday the high was 8 degrees Fahrenheit with a wind chill well below that. I put on my hand knits and I opened up my window shades, and I decided that the light was great. It wasn't too bright. You are getting some glare on my glasses, but I can't help that. So we're going to go forth. As I said, this is Love Letters to Crafting, where I extol the virtues of all my crafty loves. I don't have a written letter today, partly because I just decided on the spur of the moment that I needed to put on some warm clothes and sit down and talk to my friends, okay? So that's what I'm doing. I have been home for quite some time. Hold on just one second. My cat is going to attack some pom-poms. Okay. She adores those pom-poms. We're going to talk about those pom-poms later. So, I am going to fight my urge to overshare, but I'm just going to say that I've been home practicing a lot of self-care over the past month, and I have accomplished a lot of knitting, but I also felt like a little isolated, so I wanted to just record an episode and touch base with some of my friends, my virtual friends, and my friends that I know in real life. So that's why I'm here today. First thing we're going to talk about is finished objects. I have quite a few. This is what I'm wearing is my Fern and Feather sweater. The pattern is by Jennifer Steingass. Her pattern is long sleeve, but I made mine short sleeve. Part of the reason I made mine short sleeve is because this yarn, which is Lamb's Pride Superwash Worsted, is not super soft. And knit up at this gauge, it's a little bit stiff. And I was worried that in my elbow bend that I was not going to love that. And also this makes it a little more versatile. I can always wear it with a turtleneck. I can wear it with another layering piece underneath it. The colors are Lamb's Pride Superwash Worsted in mint cream, and the contrast color is alabaster. So I finished this for Christmas, and I'm going to stand up to show you the bottom. I think I can do that. Hold on just one sec. I'm going to move this a little bit so that I can stand over by the door where my cat keeps pushing it open. So I'm going to set down my tea. And I wanted to wear it with this skirt. This is a little Alfred Dunner skirt that I got at the thrift store before Christmas. So I am happy with the way it turned out. Sorry, the cat is going crazy for this pom-pom. So I'm pleased with the way it turned out. I've worn it a ton. It's very wearable. You just throw it on. It's a good length. It covers my waistband on my skirts and my jeans. So it's great. My cat is going crazy. We have a new cat. Well, she's not new. We got Moon in November, and she's young. She's only like 19 months old. So she's still kind of a kitten. And it took her a little while to figure out that there was yarn in the house. And then when she did, it was like, oh, yarn. Oh my gosh, I need to be crazy. I need to be wackadoodle. So, I didn't think she'd care. She's usually asleep right now. But of course, as soon as I start talking, she acts like I'm talking to her. So, understandable. All right, so first finished object, Fern and Feather by Jennifer Steingass. Highly recommend the pattern. Very easy. Just this little rolled collar. Yeah, great. My second finished object is a hat. And it's so funny because I looked back at my Ravelry, and I knit like one hat a year. And this time it was a pattern by Jody of the Grocery Girls. She's Mrs. Brown's Bags on Instagram. And I'll put a picture in here of the finished object because my hair's cuckoo if I put this on. But here is the pattern. I would not say it's memorizable. It wasn't memorizable for me, but that is a strand of Ella Ray lace merino held double with a strand of Lana Grossa silk hair. You can probably see that halo from the silk mohair. And this pom-pom is everything. Look at that. It's faux fur pom-pom. I got it from Under the Willow Tree US. That's her Etsy store. I got this one and two other pom-poms. This was like blush, and then I got two other gray ones because I wasn't sure from the pictures on Etsy which would match the best. So one is like silver fox and the other one's silver gray. So they come with these very long ties, and the shipping came pretty fast. She hand makes these. They're gorgeous. They're just really fluffy. They're big. I'm just letting you know they're super big. They're like 6 inches in diameter. So I attached it using Very Pink Knits tutorial for attaching a faux fur pom-pom. And I'm just going to flip this hat in inside out. So you put on a button in the top of your hat, and then you use those ties to tie the button on. So not only can you change the pom-pom if you want to, but you can also take the pom-pom off to wash it. So I thought it was ingenious, and yeah, I've already worn this because the polar vortex, duh. And you can see on the camera a little bit, there's a little bit of creasing from the packaging. But one of the things that I think her name is April, the pom-pom maker, says is to use a hairdryer on low, and that will pop right out. So, love this hat. Like I said, I don't knit hats, but maybe once a year. Here's her card. Under the Willow Tree, April Bryn. And that's all her information. I just searched on Etsy for pom-poms, and she was one of the first ones that came up. And unintentionally, I finished a cowl that happened to coordinate with that. So this is the Patiki cowl by Aroha Knits. And I love the way that this turned out. This is not a commercial for the Grocery Girls, but I'm just letting you know that Tracy had knit this pattern, and I just loved the way it looked so much. I thought, I bet I have something in stash that could work for this, and I did. This color, I wonder yeah, there you go. That is Cascade 220, and I had a skein plus some left over from a sweater project that I made, and I really like that color combination. It's like green and purple and blue, and it's just really lovely. And so I had a skein of that, and I also had this beautiful yarn from Amy Florence of the Stranded Dye Works podcast and Yarn Company. And it's not coming out very well on camera, but it is this beautiful, let me see if I have, here it is. It's pink and blues and just lovely. So I used the Cascade 220, that's the dark color, in 4007. That's what it says on the tag. But when I went online, 4007 comes up as like a cream color, and it is not at all cream. So I don't know if they changed their colorway list. Oh, there you go. Can you see that? Gorgeous, gorgeous. So I held this, 2 strands of this together to get the gauge to match the Cascade 220. And I still have probably 60 grams left, so this is enough for a pair of socks, which I will make for sure. Also, I still have some of the Cascade left, which will be fine for a worsted weight colorwork project or something like that. But this is beautiful. And the hat and the cowl just happened to go together. Yeah, that was pretty lucky. Not planned. And these are not my usual colors, so serendipity. I have another finished object, and that is Christmas socks. Look at those. If you can't tell on camera, this is lightly pink and this is lightly green with these darker colors in between. This is yarn from Holly Pressed Fibers in the Christmas Blizzard self-striping. And this is 463 yards, 75% superwash merino, and 25% nylon. And I used her mini set and the Iced Christmas Cookie set. I used the red from that, and I still have these gorgeous colors left, these mini skeins left. So those might be good for a Frankenstein sock project, or yeah. And I still have, so I don't have little feet. I'm just going to say that. I don't have little feet. I wear a women's size 11, and I cast on 68 stitches. So it's not quite a man's, it would be like a man's size 9. So I cast on 68 stitches, and I knit a very long foot. I did use the contrast heels, toes, and cuffs, but I still have enough to make an entire pair of socks. I have 50 grams left. So they might not be as tall as those, but I have enough, especially if I use the mini skeins. So highly recommend. My cat is going crazy. Oh my gosh. So that is it for finished objects. I have a ton of works in progress. Tons. So let me get organized and I'll be right back. The cat situation, she's not going to stop. My mom got her this felt ball It was in a pack of other cat toys. I think it was from the dollar store. It could have been from Big Lots. I don't know. But it's just this little green felt ball. And it's like her best friend. And we have other balls, but she's not interested in those. She can't carry that ball around in her mouth. She can't like get her claws into the other ones like that. So she's like out of control for that ball. But when she is in ball playing mode, nothing can get in her way. And so she came in here with the ball and it got stuck between two of my project bags. I didn't realize that. And so she was like, oh, I gotta get in there, I gotta get in. And I'm like, what are you doing? That's what she was doing. She's like, Mom, give me my ball. Okay, I'm giving you your ball. Okay. So, works in progress. I have a lot of works in progress, and I want to just finish one thing, anything. I know I finished those other things, but all these other projects are kind of big, and I'm just ready for them to be done. So, some of you may remember that I cast on, and I made one entire knee sock. These are my birthday socks. I cast them on my birthday, which was in September. Okay, and this is Yarn Jar, Let's Be Unicorns colorway, and I used a bunch of different minis for the heels, toes, and cuffs. And I cast on almost right away for the second one, and I got all the way here and I stopped for months. And all I needed to do was do the decreases. That's all I needed to do, is just do the decreases from the top of my calf down to the where my calf gets thinner. That's all I needed to do. And I don't know what was keeping me from doing that. Probably because I knit socks in the car usually. And I can't count decreases in the car. Especially if the radio's on or if I'm having a discussion with whoever's driving the car. I can't. Sorry, I gotta get this plastic bag. Because now Moon is trying to get the plastic bag. Sorry for the crinkling. Woo! It's annoying. So, because I've been home and doing more knitting and trying to finish up some of these longer term projects, I did that the other day. I just sat down and did the decreases. So now I'm just going to knit straight on the leg down the foot because I did an afterthought heel, and yeah, so they matched up. It's all beautiful. Hopefully by my birthday they'll be finished. Yeah. And those are living. This project is living in I made this project bag. It is got a bunch of vintage fabrics that I love, and it's lined with this. I love this. It's like paint chippy color, yeah, fabric. So hopefully I will finish those up soon. They're good TV knitting now. I don't have to just work on them in the car, but no, I really want to have these. And some of you might recall, I know it's been a while since I podcast, but some of you might recall that I said that I wanted to have a pair of knee socks for every holiday. Well, we'll see how that goes. So, finished work in progress number 1. Work in progress number 2 is another pair of socks. I got the Nora George 12 Days of Christmas mini skein set. Yeah, that's her with the ball. Sorry. And I love mini skein sets, but I never know what to do with them. And Tracy of Nora George Yarns, her mini skein sets are very generous. This was 10 grams, and I thought, oh, how much is 5 grams going to be? Anyway, I separated each of the 12 different colors in the 12 mini skein set, and I'm making socks. So I guess I should have said spoiler alert, because if you haven't opened up your 12 Days of Christmas, well, it is January 31st. So I'm just going to, I just am knitting each color as it comes out of the set, and I'm just going to knit all the way down. This is a very forgiving cuff. I tried it on. I use a German twisted cast on, so it's very, very stretchy. I don't know if you can see how stretchy that is. There's a lot of give in there. And it fits up pretty far on my calf, so I'm only through 4 of the 12 colorways. I might not make it all the way to the 12th day. But yes, I am going to keep going. My next color is this golden color. Isn't that gorgeous? 5 golden rings. That's my guess. Hey! Somebody was knocking on the door asking me if I wanted my walk shoveled, which was very nice, but there's hardly any snow out there. It's going to blow away. And today it's in the 20s, and on Saturday or Sunday this week it's going to be 60 degrees. So that's crazy. So where were we? Oh, we were talking about my 12 Days of Christmas socks. Yeah, so they're gorgeous. I think they're going to be so cute. They're going to look like kind of like rugby socks, I think. But that's a better representation of that color. Look at those speckles. She knows how to do some speckles. For sure. For sure. Okay. And that is in my deer bag. I do have a little interior, this is my lining. I like this fabric, this wood grain fabric. So that is work in progress number 1. Actually number 2, because those other socks. This is the Night Shift Shawl by Andrea Mowry. Okay, I am not going to profess to be a perfect color matcher, because I'm not. My friend Becky bought these same colors of yarn for her Night Shift Shawl. Now, I'm going to tell everybody that the Night Shift Shawl is knit with, I can't think of the name of the yarn. Oh, here, maybe it's in her pattern. It's this company that does like hand spun yarns. They look hand spun. I don't know that they are though. Spin Cycle yarns. Spin cycles are out of my budget. Now, I shouldn't say that. I could choose to buy spin cycle yarns. I have purchased one skein of spin cycle yarns in the past, and I love their colorways and I love the way it looks. But for a shawl or a sweater, it becomes cost prohibitive for me. This is from somebody who bought this yarn at Tuesday Morning for $5.99 a skein. Actually, it was $5.99 a skein, and then I got a 20% discount off of that. So, and I only used like 5 skeins. So this was a very affordable sweater to knit. Spin cycle yarns, although beautiful, are to me a luxury item that I choose not to spend my money on, just because it's too expensive for me. So Becky chose yarns from Barocco. I have a tag. Oh yeah, Barocco Vintage. It calls for 6 different colorways. Sorry, I have to wipe my nose. Calls for 6 different colorways. And you can knit whatever you want out of whatever yarn you want. I just watched Amy of the Stranded Dye Works podcast, talk about this. And you can knit with whatever yarn you want. This Barocco Vintage is an affordable yarn, but I know that my finished object is not going to look as stunning as the finished objects I've seen, the finished shawls I've seen knit with the spin cycle yarn. You could get the same look with different yarns that aren't spin cycle. We just bought these, and it calls for 6 skeins of worsted weight yarn. And I'm going to show you my progress. You start at it's an asymmetrical triangle. It's slip stitches. You start at this end, the skinny end. And this has been scrunched up in my bag. Okay. But if you look online, this looks very one-dimensional. The samples that I've seen knit in the spin cycle yarns are so much more multifaceted. I can't think of a better word than that. But I'm going to go forth because this is going to be a very snuggly, even if I just wear it around the house, a snuggly shawl. And I am, let's see, where am I? I'm on section 8, and there are 10 sections. Yeah, so I'm more than halfway through, but of course now I'm on to the longer end, the longer portion, so every row is a lot more stitches on your needle. So, like I said, it slip stitches. It's, I think it'll be pretty once it's done. I'm just not, comparison is the thief of joy. And I should just love my shawl for what it is and should not compare it to other people's shawls that I've seen online, knit in different yarn. They're going to be different. The end. So, that is my other work in progress. And that is in my Fringe Field town bag. Is that right? It's roomy. 6 skeins of yarn and my project live in there. And it's covered in cat hair. Yep. Okay. I have a sweater on the needles too. And this one, this is a product knit, okay? I don't know if many of you know what the difference is. So a process knit is, I just love to knit this. That shawl, for example, is a process knit for me because the slip stitches are a new technique that I had never used. So now I'm learning that slip stitch technique and what it looks like, and I love the process of knitting it because I'm not super duper jazzed or excited about the finished product. I'll wear it, but I like knitting it. This is a product knit for me. I want the finished object so much that I am willing to keep going on this slog of a knit. No fault of the pattern, no fault of the designer. The finished object is gorgeous and topical and aligns with my viewpoint on the world. So I am knitting, sorry, I'm going to move this so you guys don't keep looking at my hallway. I am knitting the Notorious RBG sweater, and Park and Knit is the designer, and if I can, I'll put a picture of the pattern here because I don't think I printed it out. So, as you can tell, it is a colorwork yoke sweater. It's cropped, It has huge sleeves to mimic the robes worn by the Supreme Court justices, and it had the color work is supposed to represent the color that Ruth Bader Ginsburg wears when she writes a dissenting opinion for the court. Okay, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it, I love it. It didn't take me any time at all to knit. It's knit from the bottom up. So the payoff, the colorwork yoke, comes at the end of the knit. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that. So I have been knitting. I knit the bottom. You only knit for 8 inches. I knit for 8 inches because I'm long in the torso, but it is cropped. And then you knit the sleeves, and you join the body of the sweater to the sleeves, and then you knit the yoke. You knit the decreases, the raglan decreases, and the colorwork yoke at the same time. Okay, so the sleeves, in order to be like bell shaped, are 20 inches. And there are 88 stitches for my size on the needles. The finished sleeve that I have done has more, I don't know if you can see that, has more than a skein of worsted weight yarn in it. Okay. It is killing me. It is so boring. But I am going to go forth because I believe in this sweater. I believe in this designer. I have 2 of her other sweaters in my queue. I've already got yarn picked out. So here's how much I have on the second sleeve. I started it yesterday. So I'm about 10 inches in. So I'm halfway through. But this is it. I mean, I need to keep going. And this is my skein of yarn. I'm knitting this with a very affordable wool. This is Paton's Classic Wool Worsted. I got it at the old Joann's. It was on sale. Also a very affordable yarn. And then the contrast color is some of the same that I already had in my stash. This that's in black, and this is winter white. So it'll be beautiful. I can't wait to have it as a finished object, but lordy, lordy, these sleeves are gonna kill me. Oh, yeah. Okay. So what else do I have to show you? Okay, future knitting. Future knitting. Okay, are you ready? I need to reach down over here. Okay, my friend Becky, who is my knitting inspiration for everything, knit Joji Locatelli's The Easy One. Is that right? Anyway, it is a top-down drop shoulder cardigan, knit and fingering weight yarn. Not cardigan, pullover. Knit and fingering weight yarn. And she knit hers in Brooklyn Tweed Loft, and because I'm a total copycat, I wanted, hers was this beautiful green, I want to say it was button jar. I might not be right, but so I did my swatch, and this is postcard. The cat was eating the pom-pom on my hat. This is postcard. This is my swatch. I got gauge on the first try. That never happens, right? It's a lie then. So I want to cast this on, but I am trying very, 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 very hard to not cast on anything until I finish that sweater. I have to put this back here because she's going to eat it. There we go. How's that? So I'm trying very hard. It's in my project bag, a project bag that I made out of some scraps that I got in an estate sale, some upholstery scraps. I have a inside zipper pocket. So, future knitting. Another future knitting project is I want to make another Nanilchik Swan Show. This is my first Nanilchik Swan Show. It's by Boylan Knits, Caitlin Hunter. And I love these colors, but it's so bold that you can't wear it very often. I don't know why I have that in my head. My grandmother always said no one will remember that you wore a black dress more than one time in a week, but people will remember if you wear a red dress more than one time in a week. Not that that matters, but I just have that in my head. So Joann's had a sale this past weekend on Lion Brand yarn. So it was buy two, get one free, and then there was a coupon for another 40% off. I don't know. You ended up paying half price for the yarn. So I thought for the main color that I would use this marled fisherman's wool by Lion Brand. So this is a generous skein of yarn. This has 465 yards in it, and it was on sale. It was $12.99 for 465 yards, but it was half price pretty much. So, you know, $6.50 for, and I got 3. So that's $19. And then I have some yarn that I got at Tuesday Morning. The cat is crazy, okay? I know I keep saying that, but she's crazy. So this shepherd's wool, this white, this is undyed. So these, with this, but I still need a 4th color. I could probably do it with 3 colors, but I sort of thought, I have one skein of this. Sorry for all the crinkling. This is Ella Ray Lace Merino worsted in this green color. And it is more tightly spun than those others, but I think that it will bloom, especially if you can see this end where I think it'll bloom. So I really want to cast this on. I would like to wear this. Somebody on Ravelry, squirrel! Somebody on Ravelry made this as a turtleneck, and I think that would be, I don't know if this is, yeah, it's pretty soft. Made this as a turtleneck. That Nanil Swancho is a turtleneck. They just knit because the shape of that Nanil Swancho, for anybody who hasn't knit it, the crew neck tends to come up a little bit and stand up away from the body a little bit. And so if you made it into a turtleneck and you wanted to fold it over, it would be perfect for that. So that is future knitting. And the only other thing I wanted to say is I've been home by myself watching YouTube videos, watching Netflix, watching Victorian Farm, Escape to River Cottage, and watching nonstop all the Fat Squirrel Speaks videos. I'm new to the Fat Squirrel Speaks podcast, and let me tell you, if you guys want to laugh, if you want to be educated, if you want to be informed, if you want to be inspired, please watch Amy Beth, Fat Squirrel Speaks. Okay, so in watching her, she has almost 300 videos, 300 podcasts. Some of it's bonus content. But yeah, she has a lot to say about knitting and a lot to say about a lot of things. And I'm in for all of it. Well, one of the knit-alongs that she had, it was probably a year ago, more than a year ago, was knits from the crypts. And fixing knits that didn't fit or for some reason you didn't love, and doing something so that you would love them again. So I knit this colorwork sweater. It was from like Knit One a million years ago, maybe 10 years ago. So it's a, I don't remember the name of the pattern. But anyway, so I knit this out of the classic, Paton's Classic Wool Worsted. And this is, it was like a Noro ripoff. I don't remember the name of it. But it's too short. And the rib, because of where it hits me, it constantly rides up. So what can I do to fix that? So first I thought, I'm just going to take the rib off and knit a new bottom. And that could work. But I've also thought about steeking it up the middle and making it a cardigan. And I know that this is not the exact same color. This is a little more lilac than this lavender color. But knitting a button band and making it a cardigan and knitting it longer and knitting the ribbing at the bottom longer. So that could be in my future. I don't wear it now, so what's the worst that could happen? I could undo it and redo it and not like it, and it would be no different. But I would have learned something in that process. So I think I'm going to do that. Okay. So, stash enhancement, treat yourself, stuff I got in the mail. Oh, one thing I wanted to show you, hold on, the cat. Come on. She's over here. Okay. Is my bag for my Notorious RBG sweater. Okay, this is totally fabric stash busting. I had a grand plan when I first learned how to do paper piecing that I was going to make a table runner for our dining room table and coordinating placemats that were paper pieced in this goldy mustard color, because that's the color of our walls in our dining room. And it was going to be with lighter colors, cream, low volume fabrics, and grays. Yeah, so I ended up making 2 blocks before I lost steam. That doesn't mean I don't have a million fat quarters of this gold in every different pattern, but that's okay. So I had 2 blocks, and they were just sitting downstairs in my craft dungeon waiting to be made into something. And so I thought, I need a sweater bag, a bag that is big enough to hold a sweater's quantity of yarn. So I'll make those work. And as I said with my sweater, if it doesn't work out, then I'll have learned something, but it did work out. So here we go. This is the one side. This is the one block. And then the other side is this block. So I made a gusseted bottom so it would sit flat. That's about 7 inches across. And it is lined with fabric that says, "You make me happy when skies are gray." I love this fabric. I have so much of it. I could put it on everything. And I'm perfecting my zippers. Right now, see how there's a little hole at the end. I just need to get that zipper a little bit closer to the end. But I love this bag. I love it. Love, love, love it. And I have some other quilt blocks from another quilt-along. Well, from a quilt-along that I didn't finish. So I think I might make another sweater bag. Okay. Acquisitions. So, Rock and String Creations had a sale of 2018 colors, and so I went online and I got some. Now, I've been home by myself for a while. I may not be paying attention to everything that is pertinent when I go online. So, here is the first colorway that I got. This is her Drifter DK base. 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. It's 246 yards. It is in the Miriam Bright colorway. It's self-striping. I have never knit socks with DK weight yarn, so I didn't notice that it was DK. I thought it was fingering, but here's an opportunity to learn. So I've been Googling, actually searching Ravelry for DK weight sock patterns. So I bet they knit up fast. And I also got same base, the DK. This is Campfire S'mores. Look at that. So DK socks are in my future. I think it'll be great. I think it'll be great. They'll probably be good boot socks. So, yeah, I think that's it. I think that's all I have to talk to you about. Yeah. So I hope you have a great time with all your crafty loves, and hopefully I'll be back to talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.